Hi friends and welcome to my channel. My name is Maria. For this video, I'm going to be doing a cook and clean with me. I'll be making 4 awesome, easy, and delicious 4th of July snacks and desserts, as well as doing a little dishes. So for the first recipe, we're going to do a chocolate covered popcorn. This is so festive and awesome and easy. I'm just using microwave popcorn that I already had in my cabinet, as well as some white chocolate chips that I found. Using about a half a cup of the white chocolate chips, and I'll microwave them in order to make them creamy. I'll also need some blue food coloring and red food coloring. You could really use any food coloring that you like, depending on the season, but because it is 4th of July, I'm trying to get a little festive in that way. I'm going to need a little tin foil, and I'm going to be getting out a pan. This is going to be perfect because when my popcorn comes out, I can just spread it on the pan, and I'm going to want a nice thin layer. I really want to make sure that as many kernels of popcorn that can have chocolate on them do. So you want to make sure that it's really flat. There's no, bunching, I guess. So that chocolate has come out a couple times, and I'm mixing it. We start with 30-second intervals. So put it in the microwave for 30 seconds, mix it up, do it again for 30 seconds, mix it up, and then do it again for 10 seconds, and do 10-second intervals until it basically melts. Now I'm going to mix my melted chocolate with my food coloring. Initially, I thought that I would just be able to mix this in this bowl, but what ends up happening is I added a little too much food coloring for the amount of chocolate, and it got a little thick. Some sort of chemical reaction that happened that wasn't good. So I mixed it up and end up adding it back to my larger bowl of chocolate, and I end up making a second larger bowl of chocolate for the red. Nonetheless, it turns out just fine. Just make sure you're using a lot of chocolate and a little bit less food coloring. Here I'm just dripping the chocolate over the popcorn. There's really no wrong way to do this. This is a lot of fun, kind of make it your own. If you get a big drip, don't get worried about it. The more chocolate, the better. Honestly, people are going to be so excited to have chocolate covered popcorn. It's an excellent salty and sweet snack. I shouldn't try and be alliterative, I guess. With the red, I just didn't have as much red food coloring as I thought I did. It came out a little pink, so we're looking a little bit cotton candy popcorny, but I think people are going to get the gist because it's 4th of July. If you have more red, you can definitely add it. I don't think it's going to mess anything up, and it'll look a little bit more dramatic. At the end, I'm adding some sprinkles because I felt like my popcorn wasn't dramatic enough. If I had a redder chocolate, I may not have added that. But as you can see, it looks really cool and festive. So I just let this dry for about 30 minutes and then started breaking it up. I'm putting it into some airtight containers because I'm hoping that this is going to last until 4th of July. It is Monday, so we will see. What I will be doing with this is placing it on my cheese board. I'm going to make an epic 4th of July cheese board. You can pretty much put anything on cheese board, so it's awesome. And of course I had to try it, so it's a winner. It's delicious, salty and sweet. For our next treat, we're going to be making chocolate covered marshmallows. So you just need 8 dowels, 8 marshmallows, a little bit of oil, some white chocolate chips, and red and blue sprinkles. Again, you could use whatever color sprinkles you want or whatever setup that you want. You could even use dark chocolate if you wanted. I'm using the same method, 30-second intervals for the first 2 microwaves, stirring in between, followed by 10-second intervals after that. Julian and I here are just working on putting these dowels in. He had a lot of fun with this. This is an awesome one to do with kids. They really can't go wrong with it or mess it up. And because it's chocolate, you can always cover up any issues that you may see. I think the hardest part is just getting them not to eat the food while you're cooking. Here you see me mixing up the chocolate. This is after a few rounds in the microwave. Do not get discouraged if you feel like your chips aren't melting. one of the times that you put them in and you mix them, they will start to get, you see how they kind of stick to the spoon there. And then kind of around the end of it, it's just going to get completely melted and you're going to know that you've done a good job. So here we're just dipping the marshmallow ends into the chocolate and placing them into the sprinkles. I decided to do an alternating color, so we didn't mix the blue and red, we just did some blue and some red, but you can do whatever you want really, it's your project. Julian had a lot of fun. He was dipping, getting into it, and he did an excellent job. You'll see here that it's pretty easy to correct anything that doesn't quite get all the way covered. So he did that one, he just was finished with it, but I wanted to put a little bit more sprinkles on it, so I was able to go back in, put a little more chocolate, and we were just fine. During this process, I thought, gee, I'm gonna want something to put these in. I'm putting them on their sides here, but I thought they could actually be standing up right now. Why not? So I went and got an old pickle jar. Overall, I think they turned out pretty good. They're so cute and it's a nice snack for the kids. For our next project, I'm doing chocolate covered bananas. I just used some semi-sweet chocolate chips, a little bit of oil, sliced up bananas, and some more sprinkles. Initially, I thought I was going to put these in dowels, but as I tried it, it didn't really work out. So I decided to cut them into little star shapes. I have these adorable little cutters and they actually come in multiple different shapes, but I'm doing only stars for 4th of July. So we end up cutting these up for a little while. I'm melting the chocolate the exact same way I did in the first 2 videos. Once it's melted, I am dipping the stars into the chocolate. This part gets a little bit tricky. I see you can see the star shape. Once you put it down, it's a little bit more muddled, but I ended up kind of ripping off the chocolate after it dried and it worked out just fine.
I'm Julian.
Yeah? Are you going to be a chef when you grow up?
Yeah. Put the stars on a stick that bananas on. Then put them on chocolate with them on the sticks.
Oh.
Then put these on all those add-ins things on there. Then eat them after 4th of July.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That sounds good.
I'm mixing it. I'm mixing it. I'm mixing it. My red and blue is the favorite color.
What's your favorite food?
Banana and fruit cocktail.
Oh, fruit cocktail?
Yeah.
Nice. Where are we going for 4th of July?
Mama told me.
We going to the beach?
Yeah.
Whose beach is it? Who lives at the beach?
Nini's beach.
Ah, Nini's my mom.
Nini's your mama.
Yeah, is that your grandma?
Yeah. And that's my grandma.
Mm-hmm.
banana.
What is your favorite animal?
Pig.
Pig?
Yeah.
What does the pig say?
Oink, oink.
Quick. What are you most excited to have that we just made?
Those popsicles.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Those are I think those are the Marshmallow Popsicles.
Yeah.
These are gonna be pretty good too because this is covered in chocolate and we're gonna put it in the freezer.
Yeah, to freeze all up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Why does it freeze it?
So that the chocolate dries. And it's very refreshing then.
Well, if we eat them with the chocolate on so it doesn't cold. So it doesn't cold.
Oh, it'll be refreshing to have them if they're frozen.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Why do you mean it's frozen?
So that they're refreshing.
Why don't our meat and refresh them?
Because sometimes it's hot out and you want like a nice cold treat.
Why a nice cold treat?
I don't know, you ever get hot and you want like a popsicle or something?
Yeah.
So this is like a popsicle, except it's a banana covered in chocolate.
No.
So here's pretty much what they look like once I got the chocolate on them. They look kind of like a mess, but like I said, once it got frozen in the freezer, I just pulled the chocolate off. Here, I just didn't want you to think I would ever let that banana go to waste. That is going into a bag, into the freezer for smoothies another day. At this point, my sink was a disaster. So, because I don't have a butler, it was time to do some dishes before my last project. Here, suddenly I realized that the kids had completely destroyed our rewards chart, so decided let's put that back. Fix that up a little bit. Just putting my soap in the dishwasher, and we're all done. For our final and honestly my favorite 4th of July treat/snack, we are making some homemade chocolate chip cookie ice cream sandwiches. Right here, I'm just getting out everything we need to make the cookies. I am a Toll House cookie fan, so I'm using the Toll House recipe. I don't need to make that many because I'm actually going to make mini sandwiches. So I'm going to make half the recipe in this. I'm going to use 1 stick of butter because I wasn't thinking ahead. I did actually need to microwave that. I kind of skip ahead here, but I put in about 1/3 cup of sugar, 1/3 cup of brown sugar, and the butter into the bowl, as well as 1 egg. I'm gonna mix that, then add about a teaspoon of vanilla. And now I'm adding 1.25 cups of flour. If you look at the Toll House recipe, that's probably not exactly even to half, but the cookies turned out fantastic. It just seemed like the right mix of things. Once the dough got to this point, I knew it was perfect. Here, I'm just lining my cookie sheets with some parchment paper. And pouring in my mini chocolate chips because I was doing smaller chocolate chip cookies. I figured, why don't we use mini chocolate chips? Plus, it's what I had on hand. So we mix that up, and then I'm using my 1 teaspoon scoop. I have a 1.5 tablespoon, I think, and that usually makes my regular size cookies. So I thought this would be perfect for making minis. I'm obsessed with the scoop because it makes everything come out 100% evenly. So all your cookies are the exact same same size. They're ready to go in the oven. So I'm putting them in at 375 for 7 minutes. At 7 minutes, they were golden brown and perfection. Now it's time to make the cookies. After they've cooled, they have to completely cool, very important, into ice cream sandwiches. So I'm taking the ice cream and I'm actually just gonna hand shape this. I have heard of kind of buying a container of ice cream and cutting the circles if you bought that size, but I didn't have that. So we're just shaping them up, placing them on, and then rolling them in the sprinkles. Placing a cookie on top, smushing it down. It's not a very scientific process, but it gets the job done. That is everything for our 4th of July snacks and treats. I am wrapping these up and placing them into the freezer. But overall, I'm really happy with how everything turned out today. I had a lot of fun, and it was nice doing this with Julian. Everything was pretty easy, and I can't wait to try these. If you make any of these recipes, please tag me on Instagram. Thank you for tuning in today. If you like what you see, please hit subscribe and give me a big thumbs up. I really appreciate you being here, and I hope you have a happy and safe 4th of July. Thank you for watching.